Today's a day for Lamar Jackson to look at his phone and see if he gets a phone call from somebody saying, hey, Lamar, I like you. You want to play football for my team? Would you like to join us at fill in the blank? Because any team in the NFL that has a first-round selection in this year's draft and next year's draft has the opportunity to negotiate a contract for the services of Lamar Jackson, sign him to an offer sheet, send it to Baltimore, and say, match it, tough guy. Match it.
Are you Hacksaw Jim Duggan already?
If you dare. Because if you don't, we get your guy. You get our first two draft choices in this year's draft and next year's draft. You get our first draft choices. That's it. That's simple. If it was only that simple. So let's take a look. We did this when Lamar got slapped. Again, that's the phrase you are mandated to use in the media world when you're talking about a franchise tag and a player who doesn't want the franchise tag in the manner in which it's been given. It's slapped upon that person. If they don't mind it, it's applied. We still don't know if Saquon thinks the franchise tag has been slapped on him or applied. We'll find out. That's down the road. But for Lamar's market, we did this when it first came out, so let's do it again. Here are the teams without a first-round pick in this year's draft, thus removing them from the equation, even though, again, you know, the Broncos have Ross, the Rams have Stafford, the Browns have Watson, and the reason why Lamar's got this franchise tag is the manner in which the Browns have Watson, right? So the Dolphins are the team one would think Lamar would love to play for, and vice versa. If they'd already didn't have to love him, and the fact that Lamar's from Miami, he would love it. But even if they decided to just abandon everything, they can't. They don't have a first-round pick. Now, these teams can acquire a first-round pick in the draft and then go for it, or hope that this whole situation lingers past the draft, and then they're back in the mix. And the Niners, as we all know, have got Lance, and they just got Darnold. For the moment, these teams can't be in the market. And then you got the teams who just, we know they don't need a quarterback. And that has now expanded considerably in the last week of teams who do not need a quarterback. The two Super Bowl teams, the Bengals and the Bills and the Chargers, we know don't need a quarterback. Same with the Jaguars. And now you have 7 teams who have made maneuvers since the week that Lamar Jackson had the franchise tag slapped on him. And that includes Geno Smith, yesterday's comeback player of the year, who came back after his phone service went kaput twice to call back in. The Seahawks and Geno Smith are, you know, down the aisle together. Same thing with the Giants and Daniel Jones. The Saints and Derek Carr. The Raiders now with Jimmy Garoppolo. The Buccaneers, as of moments ago, they signed Baker Mayfield to an $8.5 million contract. They have Kyle Trask. They are not going to, with Tom Brady and $35 million on their cap as dead money, going to go ahead and sign Lamar and make this move. The Falcons have clearly shown you that no matter how popular a move it would be, no doubt in Atlanta, they are building around Desmond Ridder. They signed to a 2-year contract. Taylor Heineke, that's their plan. They got, you know, Jesse Bates, a $60 million safety. You could see how they're building their roster. This is not in the cards. And Carolina has traded up to first overall in the draft to clearly choose a quarterback. They're not flipping the first overall pick in the draft. They didn't move up from 9 to 1, give up all that capital just to now send the 1 to Baltimore. That ain't happening. There's now the same 8 teams that would blow everyone's mind if they actually made a move and called Lamar. Dallas with Dak. There's no way Arizona's doing this. Not with Kyler coming back from a knee injury. I mean, what are they going to flip Kyler somewhere else? Someone's going to take Kyler coming back from a knee injury when they go ahead and take the 3rd overall pick in the draft this year and send it to Baltimore? Minnesota. That would be provocative. It would blow everyone's mind. What do you trade Cousins? to Baltimore. You make that trade? Is that possible? It's possible. I don't know. Green Bay, after all this time.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
The Bears trading down to 9. You know why they traded down to 9? Because they weren't going to trade the 1 to Baltimore. That 9 they'd consider to finally pitch Justin Fields. All these plans just so they could scrap him and call Lamar today? That's not happening. You got the Lions. That'll blow everyone's mind. Patriots and Steelers, I think, would melt the internet.
I'd be stunned.
That's not happening either, is it?
Stunned.
So now we've boiled it down. Who are the teams that could ring Lamar's phone today? As of right now, 29 minutes before Aaron Rodgers makes his plans known, the Jets truly need a quarterback. So that's why they're still on this screen, even though I believe they are on the teams that do not need a new quarterback. They could be on that screen very shortly. And then you got the Texans, Titans, Colts, and Commanders. We still have the Commanders there, even though Ron Rivera has said to NFL Network's Sherry Burris, as she said the other day, and he's made it known the Commanders are out on Lamar. They're not doing it, but they still do need a new quarterback, unless they do love Sam Howell. So put it up one more time, Mike Hoskins. Put it on one more time. Let's see it. Texans, 2nd overall pick. You going to flip him? Flip the 2 in next year's 1st overall for Lamar, $200 million. We're going to do that. Maybe. Titans. They're going to call up. Tennessee Titans appear to be what looks like. Are they in rebuild or not?
11th overall.
They're 11th overall, but we still need to know what are their intentions. Could they be in the Lamar hunt? Could they just go? And by the way, Lamar Hunt, you like that? That's one way to get the Lamar Hunt trophy, right? It's to be in the Lamar Hunt. I keep landing on the horseshoe.
Good.
I keep landing on the franchise that's in Indianapolis that used to be in Baltimore. Wouldn't that be an interesting connection to both of those cities again? Blue Horseshoe. I keep on landing there because they're 4th overall. That's a very high first-round choice to cough up. But if they're going to use it on a quarterback, you feel like this is it, right? This is the year after the...
Got to do something.
The Phillip Rivers Project. Great band, by the way.
Nice. Matt Ryan just got released yesterday.
So you saw how that one got done, and
didn't go well.
Foles had a nice little
I think he's still on the roster.
Quick look-see. Saw how that all worked out, right? Carson Wentz. Don't forget the Carson Wentz era.
Well, it's easily forgotten.
Couldn't beat Jacksonville to make the playoffs.
Oh, my God. As they were on their way to the first overall pick.
You know, it would be terrible.
Oh, my God. That happened.
It would be terrible, Rich, if you were right and somehow Lamar did end up in Indianapolis, and then he's got to move, and then Ravens fans look out the window and they see Mayflower moving trucks.
Lamar.
I mean, that would be the cruelest thing. I don't wish that on anybody.
If Lamar does go to Indianapolis
I don't want that
and leaves
to happen.
Baltimore for Indianapolis, he's got to hire Mayflower movers, and the trucks have to come in the middle of the night.
It's mandatory, right?
Still a thing?
They'll go back into business for this move.
And again, the reason why I keep landing here is like if you're going to use the 4th overall pick on a quarterback, and it's on somebody that might be the 4th quarterback on the draft board this year, and that's a big mystery. And yeah, you could build together with your new head coach, and you could do that with your new head coach. Or you could go for it. What's the exact opposite of rolling the dice on the aging veteran to see if he's still got it? Or the exact opposite of taking a flyer on Carson Wentz? This is the move. That's the bold move. And if I'm Lamar, I am hoping I look down and see a 317 area code on my phone today. Is that what it is? Indianapolis? I'm hoping.
317 or 463.
I'm hoping.
Either one.
I'm hoping.
Good job
That's
with the
it.
area code.
I was just there. So I'm hoping if I'm him, that's the one. Because who else would it be? Could it be on the teams that would blow everyone's mind list? Because I'll tell you what, this has played out perfectly for the Ravens, who are like, go seek out your market. And the market will be open after the negotiation window in which everybody jumps on everything else. And his market is minuscule. Facts. So he'll go back to the negotiating table with Baltimore and assume more than 32, or he'll just say, screw it, I'll play on the tag again. What do I care? 32 is enough for me right now. I'll just do it again, even though everyone's saying I need an agent and I'm leaving money on the table and all that business. What do I care? I'll play it again. And then at some point, I'll be free and I'll go wherever I want to go. And my market won't be depressed by 2 firsts, and my market won't be depressed by, teams that are nervous about doing the paperwork for the Ravens and figuring out a deal that the Ravens couldn't. And, show everybody that I can still do my business even though I don't have an agent. You might do it, but that's the reality of boots on the ground, market as the Lamar market opens at 4 Eastern on the day that he can talk to other teams. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.